In October 2019, a hunter in Alaska captured something on his trail camera that defied explanation. The footage shows a massive figure moving through his camp in the middle of the night, walking on two legs, over 7 feet tall, completely unaware it's being recorded. The creature returned 3 nights in a row, getting closer each time, and on the third night it did something that made the hunter abandon his camp and never return. Wildlife experts have analyzed the footage. Not one of them can explain what this thing is. The hunter's name is Marcus Webb, a 52-year-old guide who spent over 30 years in the Alaskan wilderness. He knows these woods better than most people know their own neighborhood. Webb grew up in Alaska. His father was a trapper, his grandfather before him. 3 generations of men who made their living in the wild. He's tracked grizzly bears, guided hunting parties through some of the most dangerous terrain in North America. He spent weeks alone in the backcountry without seeing another human being. This is not someone who scares easily. In early October 2019, Webb set up a remote hunting camp about 90 miles northwest of Anchorage, deep in the Susitna Valley. An area so isolated, the nearest road is a 2-hour hike away. The Susitna Valley has a reputation among local hunters. Not all of it good. For decades, people have reported strange encounters in that region. Unexplained sounds, massive footprints, equipment moved or damaged overnight. Most hunters who go there don't talk about it openly. But the stories exist. Webb had hunted that area before. Never had any problems. He didn't believe the stories. He wasn't looking for Bigfoot. He was tracking elk. Webb set up 3 trail cameras around his camp. Standard practice for hunters. The cameras help track animal movement and keep an eye on the camp when no one's there. One camera faced east toward a game trail. Another pointed west toward a small creek. The third camera faced his tent from about 40 feet away. That third camera captured everything. On October 14th, Webb hiked out to resupply. He planned to be gone for 3 days. His camp was well secured, food stored properly, gear tied down, everything by the book. When he returned on October 17th, something felt wrong. The camp looked different, disturbed. A cooler had been moved, not opened, just moved, like something lifted it and set it down in a different spot about 3 feet away. His tent stakes were pulled out on one side, not broken. Pulled clean out of the ground, and there were prints in the mud near his fire pit. Large prints, much larger than any boot. Webb has seen bear tracks his entire life. Black bears, grizzlies, even polar bears further north. He knows what they look like, how the claws mark the ground, how the pad shape differs from species to species. These prints weren't from a bear. They were elongated, almost human-shaped, but massive, about 16 inches long and 8 inches wide at the widest point. 5 distinct toe impressions, no claw marks. Whatever left those prints was walking upright. Webb checked his trail cameras. 2 of them had nothing unusual, just deer, some ravens, normal wildlife. But the third camera, the one facing his tent, had captured something else. The footage begins at 2:47 a.m. on October 15th, the night after Webb left camp. At first, the video shows nothing unusual, just the tent lit up by infrared, trees in the background, everything still and quiet. Then, at the right edge of the frame, something moves. It's tall, extremely tall, walking upright through the camp with a strange, fluid movement. Not the way a person walks, not the lumbering gait of a bear, something in between. More like a gorilla, but on 2 legs. The figure stops about 20 feet from the tent. It stands there for almost 30 seconds, completely still, just watching. Its head turns slightly, left, then right, like it's scanning the area, checking for threats. Then it moves closer. When wildlife biologist Dr. Sarah Chen analyzed the footage, the first thing she noticed was the size. Using the tent as reference, she estimated the creature stood between 7 and 8 feet tall. Its shoulders were massive, at least 3 feet wide, and its arms hung down past its knees. "Nothing in North America has those proportions," Chen said in her report. "Not a bear, not a person, not anything we have documented." She also noted the way it moved. Bears walk on 4 legs most of the time. When they do stand upright, their movement is awkward, unbalanced. They don't walk long distances that way. This creature moved with ease, confidence, like walking upright was completely natural. But the first night's footage was just the beginning. Because whatever this thing was, it came back. The second night, October 16th, the camera triggered again. Same time, 2:43 a.m. This time, the creature didn't stay at the edge of camp. It walked directly to Webb's tent. The footage shows it standing right in front of the entrance, its head tilted down, like it's looking at something or listening. For 2 full minutes, it doesn't move, just stands there, breathing, the massive chest rising and falling. In the infrared footage, the temperature difference is visible. The creature radiates heat. Its breath creates small clouds in the cold air. Whatever this is, it's alive, and it's warm-blooded. Then it does something that makes the footage even more disturbing. It reaches out with one arm and touches the tent. Its hand presses against the fabric, slowly, almost gently, like it's trying to feel if something's inside. The hand is enormous, easily twice the size of a human hand. The fingers are thick, and when it pulls the hand back, the fabric of the tent moves with it, like the hand had weight and strength behind it. The tent was empty. Webb was gone, but the creature didn't know that. After a moment, it pulls its hand back, and then it just stands there again, watching, waiting. Dr. Chen found this behavior particularly significant. "This isn't random animal curiosity," she explained. "This is investigative behavior. The creature is testing the tent, trying to understand what it is that suggests problem-solving ability, intelligence. Most animals in the wild react to unfamiliar objects in one of 2 ways. They either avoid them completely or they attack them. Very few animals investigate something carefully and deliberately. Primates do, dolphins do, elephants do, all highly intelligent species. The creature stays at the tent for another minute. Then it turns and walks away, but it doesn't leave the camp entirely. The infrared camera captures it moving to the edge of the clearing, just beyond the tree line, and there it stops, turns back, and watches the tent from a distance. For 12 minutes, it stays there, barely moving, just observing. Then at 3:08 a.m., it finally disappears into the forest. When Webb saw this footage, he told his brother he almost didn't go back to the camp, but he'd left expensive equipment there. His rifle, his supplies, gear worth thousands of dollars. So on October 17th, he hiked back in. That's when he found his camp had been disturbed. That's when he saw the footprints. And that's when he checked the cameras and discovered the creature had returned a 3rd time, the night of October 17th. The same night, Webb came back. And this time, everything changed. The 3rd video is different from the first 2. It starts at 11:34 p.m., much earlier than the previous nights, and this time the creature isn't alone. 2 figures appear in the frame, one large, the same size as before, and one smaller, maybe 6 feet tall, thinner, moving with slightly different body language. They stop near Webb's tent, and that's when the large one makes a sound. Audio experts who analyzed the recording said the vocalization lasts for 6 seconds. It's deep, guttural, with a strange vibration that doesn't match any known animal in Alaska. Not a bear, not a moose, not a wolf. The frequency range is beyond what a human can produce naturally, said audio engineer Marcus Liu. This required an incredibly large chest cavity and vocal cords we don't see in any documented species. The sound has layers to it, a low rumbling bass tone, and above that a higher-pitched whistle-like quality, both happening at the same time. Liu said creating that sound artificially would require specialized equipment. If this is a hoax, they went to extraordinary lengths to fake the audio, he said. But the most disturbing part comes next. In the video, after the large creature makes the sound, the smaller one responds. It's a different pitch, higher, almost like an answer, like they're communicating. The exchange lasts about 15 seconds. The large one vocalizes. The smaller one responds, back and forth. A conversation, and then both of them turn and look directly at the camera. Not near the camera, at the camera, like they know it's there, like they know they're being recorded. The larger creature takes 2 steps toward it, stops, tilts its head. In the infrared footage, something reflects in its eyes, not the camera's light. The camera uses passive infrared. It doesn't emit visible light, but something in the creature's eyes catches the infrared spectrum, a reflective layer behind the retina, something called a tapetum lucidum. Humans don't have that. Most primates don't have it either. But predators do. Animals that hunt at night. Wolves, bears, big cats. Webb was in his tent when this happened. He didn't hear the vocalization at the time. He was asleep, but something woke him up around midnight. A feeling, an instinct. He said the air felt heavy, wrong, like something was watching him. He stayed in his tent, didn't move, barely breathed. His rifle was within reach, but he didn't grab it. He said later that some instinct told him not to make noise, not to draw attention. After about 20 minutes, the feeling passed. Whatever was out there, it left. But in the video footage, the 2 creatures don't leave immediately. After looking at the camera, they turn back to the tent. The larger one approaches again. This time, it doesn't touch the fabric. Instead, it walks completely around the tent, circling it, examining it from all sides. The smaller creature stays back, watching, alert. After completing the circle, the large creature stops at the entrance again, and then it does something unexpected. It sniffs the air. The head tilts back slightly. The chest expands. It's clearly drawing in scent, trying to smell if something's inside the tent. And apparently it detects something, because its posture changes. The shoulders tense. The head lowers. It knows someone is in there. For 30 seconds, it just stands there, perfectly still. The smaller creature also freezes, both of them focused on the tent. Inside, Webb is awake, holding his breath, listening. Then, without warning, both creatures turn and walk away, quickly, not running but moving with purpose. Within seconds, they disappear into the trees. The camera continues recording for another hour. Nothing else appears. At 6:14 a.m., the footage shows Webb emerging from his tent, moving fast, packing his gear. He doesn't take everything, just the essentials. Within 30 minutes, he's gone. The next morning, Webb packed everything he could carry and hiked out. He left his tent, his coolers, most of his gear. He said he'd rather lose the equipment than spend another night in that camp. He hasn't been back since. When asked why he didn't report it to authorities, Webb said something chilling. Who would I report it to? What would I even say? That something visited my camp 3 nights in a row and I have no idea what it was? They'd think I was crazy, or worse, they'd want to investigate. and I don't want anyone going back there. But Webb did share the footage with a private research group based in Washington state, the Olympic Project, a non-profit organization dedicated to documenting unknown species in the Pacific Northwest. They were the ones who brought in Dr. Chen and the other experts. They were the ones who tried to verify the footage's authenticity. Every expert who examined it came to the same conclusion. The footage hadn't been edited. The metadata matched the dates. The infrared signatures were consistent with something real and physical. Whatever Webb captured, it wasn't a hoax. 3 months after Webb abandoned his camp, 2 other hunters reported similar encounters in the same area. Both described massive figures, both heard strange vocalizations in the night, and both left their camps earlier than planned. One of them, a man named David Torres, reported finding his supplies scattered. Not eaten, not destroyed, just moved around, like something had gone through them out of curiosity. The other hunter, Karen Mills, said she woke up to the sound of something breathing outside her tent. Heavy, deep breaths. She stayed silent until sunrise. When she finally came out, there were prints in the mud, the same elongated shape, the same size. Neither of them had seen Webb's footage. They didn't know about his encounter, but their descriptions matched perfectly. The Olympic Project documented both reports. They tried to interview more people in the area, but most locals refused to talk. Some said they didn't want attention brought to the valley. Others simply denied knowing anything. But privately, several admitted they'd seen or heard strange things in those woods, things they couldn't explain. Dr. Chen, the wildlife biologist, tried to organize an expedition to the site. She wanted to collect evidence, hair samples, footprint casts, scat samples, anything that could identify what Webb captured on camera. She assembled a team, applied for the necessary permits, prepared for a 2-week expedition into the Susitna Valley. But when she submitted her research permit application to the Alaska Department of Fish and Game, it was denied. No explanation given, just a simple rejection. She appealed twice, both times denied. On the 3rd appeal, she received a phone call from a department official. The conversation was brief. The official told her that research in that specific area was not approved for safety and environmental reasons. When Chen asked what those reasons were, the official wouldn't elaborate. He simply repeated that the permit was denied and no further appeals would be considered. "Someone doesn't want us looking," Chen said later, "and I don't know if that's because they don't believe it exists or because they do." Webb's footage has been analyzed by 4 different experts. All of them agree on 3 things. 1. The figure in the video is not a bear. The proportions, the movement, and the behavior don't match any known bear species in North America. 2. The proportions don't match any human, even accounting for costume or special effects. The arm length, shoulder width, and overall size exceed normal human ranges by a significant margin. 3. The behavior, the movement, and the vocalizations suggest intelligence, planning, awareness. Whatever this creature is, it's thinking, observing, learning. In February 2020, Webb returned to the area, not to the camp, but close enough to see it from a distance with binoculars. His tent was still there, but it had been completely destroyed, torn apart, the fabric ripped into pieces, not by weather, not by animals, by something with hands. The support poles were bent, snapped in places. The damage was deliberate, almost angry. The trail cameras were gone, all 3 of them, removed from the trees and taken. Webb said he stood there for maybe 5 minutes, looking at the ruins of his camp. And then he heard it. A sound in the distance, deep and low, the same vocalization from the video. He didn't wait to hear it again. He left. And this time he said he'll never go back. The footage he captured remains some of the clearest and most disturbing evidence ever recorded. Not because it shows a monster, but because it shows something that's still out there, still watching, still waiting, and still completely unknown.